With this exercise, we'll see how outliers affect standard deviation or measure of spread. And since we're dealing with so much data, we're going to use Excel to find the standard deviation of this data. And we're going to find the sample standard deviation since this data set is part of a normal distribution. So to find that in Excel, we'll highlight all the data, right-click, copy, open Excel, click in the first box, right-click, paste. So here's all the data in Excel. We want to find the sample standard deviation of this data. So we'll click in the box next to SSD, type in =, STD, standard deviation. There are different options. We're finding the sample standard deviation, so we're going to find the one that's .s, dev.s, sample standard deviation, parentheses, highlight the data, start with this box here. It's okay that that's empty. If we highlight it, since it's empty, it won't change our calculation of all these columns. Close parentheses, hit enter. There's the sample standard deviation of the data the way it is, 8.96. You check that here. This is what we got in Excel. So then it says, when you collected the data, you knew there was an extreme value that seemed a little out of the ordinary, so we had left it out originally, hence the blank. That value was 91. Which, looking at the data, we can see that 91 is quite a bit more than the rest of these values here. So now we're going to see how that affects the standard deviation if we put the 91 back in to the table of data. So we'll go back into Excel. Really cool thing here is that because we already have all this data in Excel and we've already entered our equation for calculating the sample standard deviation of these boxes here, we can just add in that here in this box, the 91, and when we click outside, it calculates the new sample standard deviation for us. So now if we add in that outlier of 91, it's 12.183. So we can see that 12.183 is correct for the sample standard deviation if we include that outlier of 91, which is quite a bit more than what it was when we didn't include the outlier. So the next value is, instead of 91, 128.9. So let's see what happens to the standard deviation if we put 128.9 in there instead. Going back to Excel, so we'll change 91 to 128.9 and see what we get. 16.42. So that matches what's in here. So quite a bit of difference in the spread of data when we add in these large outliers.